Everyone, Steve here. It is. I erased my last video because I just didn't like the way it came out. Well, anyway, so it is November 10th, I believe, 2020. It's about 8, I don't know, 8 something p.m. Pacific time. Okay, look, TIs, you guys, you guys are the subject, okay? You're not, okay, you're a target, but more, for all intents and purposes, more specifically, you are a subject. You are a subject of many things. You are a subject of interdimensionals who are, they're the key role players, okay? They're the ones, they're the boss. They're the ones that are telling the perps what to do, how to act, and not so much telling them with words. They are, they're telling them via different ways of communication. And those ways of communication could be anywhere from words, but um, probably are more just manipulations, okay? Like sheep being, you know, herded into a group that will, you know, is out to decimate a certain population of the people, UTIs, okay? Now, so you guys are subjects. You're subjects because a subject is being researched on, a subject is being tortured, a subject is being played upon by these beings, these entities, okay? There is no doubt that they are interdimensionals, all right? Some people call them ET, some people call them aliens, some people call them demons, whatever. They're interdimensional beings that live among us, okay? They live right next to you, they live next to me. And when I mean next to you, I don't mean like in the apartment next to you or the house next to you. I mean next to you. They are right there, right beside you. Not, they are beside you. And they always are. This is a fact. I have it documented. I have it filmed. I've seen it. Okay, that's anecdotal, seeing it, but it is true. Okay, yeah, people can call me schizophrenic. People can call me whatever. No, that's not the case. Do you call a cat schizophrenic because it can see ultraviolet light? Okay, humans can't see ultraviolet light. Now we can. Any of you own a cat? I'm sure lots of you do. I used to own a cat. And sometimes it would look at things and you're wondering, what the fuck is it looking at? Well, it is seeing these beings. It is seeing these things because they can see ultraviolet light. We cannot see it. Well, some of us can. Cats cannot. Now, your peripheral as a human being, you have more rods and cones on the peripheral of your vision. That is a fact. So sometimes you get glimpses of things like shadows and things like this, okay? And some people see them straight on without their peripheral. But nevertheless, sometimes we can see them. Cats can see them all the time. They have ultraviolet vision. Ultraviolet is off the spectrum of what we can see. Our spectrum runs to indigo, so it goes, you know, from red to violet, or I'm sorry, from red to violet indigo, and then it goes ultraviolet. And then birds can see infrared. Now, birds can also see things we can't see. Are they schizophrenic? So I guess cats and birds are also schizophrenic because a bird can see, um, I'm sorry, a cat can see ultraviolet and a bird can see infrared. Two of the spectrums we cannot see as human beings. So therefore, we must be, they must be, those animals must be schizophrenic, correct? I mean, if you take it to heart, if you take the definition to heart, then yeah, okay, whatever. Now, going back to other things, um, so just because somebody else can't see something and someone can, does not mean the person that sees it is schizophrenic or delusional or whatever the fuck they want to say. It doesn't mean that because, again, those there are animals that can see, even dogs can see a certain amount of ultraviolet light. Not as much as a cat, but they can a little bit. So I guess your dogs, cats, and birds are all schizophrenic, right? Okay. Now let's back up. Okay. The CIA did many experiments on people with psychic abilities. These psychic abilities were things such as being able to kill things with their minds. Like, for instance, the movie Men Who Stare at Goats, which was kind of a dark comedy with George Clooney and, I don't know, other people. I didn't see the movie, but I mean, I heard of it, know of the story. I know of the actual experiment pretty well of what the CIA did with Men Who Stare at Goats. And they were trying, they were trying to do was to get psychics that could kill goats. This is the gist. Get psychics who could kill goats with their minds so that they can use them as assassins in other countries. Okay, so the CIA, a group of highly educated individuals in a high level of security clearance and government who spent millions of dollars to house and fund and feed and everything these people who they assumed and they thought were able to kill people with their minds. And so they used goats as an example, as a demonstration or as a way to, um, you know, see if they could do it. Kind of like using guinea pigs or rats, right? Okay. Now, so this is something that they've done. The technology is there. It's gone beyond the CIA. The CIA doesn't do it anymore. It's criminal gangs who are utilizing us, and 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 they can do this remotely. And what I mean remotely is they are able to tell if an individual has this sort of, people wonder, oh, why you? Why are you targeted? Well, maybe it's because intuition, psychic ability, being able to see what others cannot see. That's a very important skill, or I wouldn't call it a skill. You're born with it. It's a very important trait. And that is why it can go to those lengths, to this extreme targeting, not by the CIA necessarily, CIA technology, but it goes into criminal gangs who utilize it for other purposes like trafficking kids and drugs and shit like that. They utilize it. They've learned how. The interdimensionals are also in play because they are the ones that they worship, that these cartels and these drug groups and shit, um, gangsters, criminals, who they idolize, worship, and pray to constantly. And they get what they want because they use their drugs and they use everything to get the emotions hyped up so that the interdimensionals are drawn towards them. Once the interdimensionals are drawn towards them, they figured out a way to utilize they're using each other. The criminals and the interdimensionals are using each other, and they use each other um, for different benefits. They each get their own benefit out of it. The criminals get their money, their kids, their drugs, women, whatever they're trafficking out of it. The interdimensionals get their emotions, their energy out of it. out of the person utilizing the cataclysmic amount of um, neurons that are firing, whether it's through drugs or not through drugs, through torture. That's why they torture us. We're not drug addicts. They're torturing the shit out of us to get our neurons firing, our dopamine receptors firing. And that's why they do it constantly. Constantly. They have to do it constantly because that's where the interdimensionals get their energy from. And it's like, it's total and complete vampirism. Instead of sucking blood, they suck energy. That's how it works. So each side gets their own thing. The criminals get from the interdimensionals, they get people, they get subjects, they get individuals, and then they get to traffic whatever they're trafficking. The interdimensionals get from that trafficking, they get, and see, as a TI, you are being trafficked. You are being trafficked as human trafficking for your emotions, like cattle. They're trying to use it. Don't be used that. Don't be utilized as cattle because you're not. You're way better than that. I hope. I hope you are. Seriously. Leave the cattle rustling to the cattle, not to you, not to your humanity, not to your strength, not to your emotions. Okay? And not to your neurotransmitters, because that's what they want is your neurotransmitters, your dopamine, your serotonin, the neurotransmitters, the adrenaline. Adrenaline's a hormone, but still is in the same league. Don't let them. Tell them to fuck off. Tell them to leave you alone. Use any religious figure that you deem appropriate to get rid of them, because they all will get rid of them. This is a fact. This is a fact. The white hats have your back. Much more later.